with the victim in the shooting that we had this afternoon. Right now, the last information I have is that the person is in critical condition as a result of this senseless act of violence that occurred earlier today. And just to give an update on where we are with this incident, today at 1:03 p.m., Albany Police received a call for a report of shots fired in the 400 block of Hudson. Within 2 minutes, Albany police officers had arrived in the area, had saw the suspect, had been shot in the head area, interviewed witnesses, and quickly got out information about the suspect vehicle. Our Crime Analysis Center, located here in headquarters, started working on the case immediately. And within minutes, the Crime Analysis Center had identified a vehicle, had identified the license plate, and was following the vehicle on city cameras throughout the city of Albany. The vehicle eventually left the city of Albany southbound on I-87. And at that point, members of the Albany Police Department and the Crime Analysis Center put out a BOLO, to be on the lookout for the vehicle, to the state police, because they police our freeway system. State police, at around 2:55 p.m., they located the vehicle in Ramapo and conducted a traffic stop. During that stop, the suspect in the vehicle, a lone suspect in the vehicle, fired shots at the trooper. The trooper discharged his firearm, and the suspect is now deceased. And I'll read the press release that was issued by the state police regarding their involvement in this incident. During the traffic stop, the suspect and sole occupant of the vehicle opened fire on troopers, and troopers discharged their division-issued firearms, striking the suspect. The subject is deceased. One trooper sustained minor injuries, and the other trooper is unharmed. So this is an excellent example of hard work by Albany police officers, by members of the Crime Analysis Center, and by our partners in the state police. Within 2 minutes of this heinous act, Albany police officers were on scene gathering evidence, gathering information, and relaying that information to other responding officers, as well as to the Crime Analysis Center. Crime Analysis Center, within minutes, had developed a suspect description and was relaying this information out to officers both in Albany and outside. This is what the partnerships among law enforcement agencies is all about. And we're sending a message. You know, when these heinous acts of violence are occurring in our city, this is our response. You know, we prevent what we can, but in those instances where we have these individuals who are causing this chaos in our city, then we have the partnerships and we have the resources now to go after these individuals and bring these individuals to justice. I'm very proud of the work that our Albany police officers, in conjunction with Crime Analysis Center personnel and state police, did in this case. It was important that we brought this person to justice. It was important that this person was taken off the street so that this person could not cause any further harm or destruction in our community. And with that, I'll turn it over to the mayor.
Thank you, Chief. And I want to really echo the amazing work that was done by our detectives, by the Albany Police Department, and our partnership with the Crime Analysis Center and the state police. This is an example of what the investment that Governor Hochul has made in ensuring that we are doing all that we can to prevent violence and also to respond to violence in our city. One of the ways that you prevent further violence is to quickly arrest individuals who choose to engage in this type of activity. And this is an example of how this investment in this Crime Analysis Center and the continued investment at the state level under Governor Hochul's leadership and at the local level as our police budget that was just passed by our Common Council and took effect January 1st will continue to invest in just this type of ability to respond and to ensure that we get dangerous people off our streets as quickly as humanly possible. This individual engaged in activity that not only could potentially take an individual's life, although our hopes and prayers are with the victim in this incident, but that could have injured others in and around the area. And for us to be able to respond, to use the technology that we have available to us, should send a message to anyone who thinks that they can engage in this type of activity in our city with impunity. We will find you, we will arrest you, and we will do everything in our power to ensure that you are brought to justice and that you are. And when you look at the conviction records that we have and the cases that we've closed, it demonstrates the commitment of this city and this police department to ensuring that we're doing all that we can to make our community safe. And so, again, I want to make it very clear. When people ask, what are we doing about violence in our city? This is an example of what we are doing about violence in our city. This is an example of what New York State is doing about violence in our city. It's investments like these that are allowing us to get dangerous people off the streets. And I want to commend, again, the Albany Police Department, our detectives, our police officers for their outstanding work in ensuring that we were able to get this dangerous person out of our community and off of our streets. And I want to commend the chief and command staff for their leadership and their ability to make this happen so quickly.
Do you know why the suspect was going down south?
I'm sorry.
Why the suspect was driving down south?
No idea. No idea.
Can you confirm the vehicle they were before?
Yeah, it was a white foreign model vehicle. I believe it was a Mercedes.
Chief, with the shootings that happened over the Christmas holiday, in conjunction with what happened today, what can we tell the people of Albany about their safety and their security when they're in the city?
Well, I want to be very clear to members of this community that we have the resources, we have the talent, we have the partnerships to find these individuals who are committing these violent acts in our city and bringing them to justice. The mayor alluded to this, but our clearance rate for our violent crimes, particularly our homicides, is well above the average across this country. You know, the average clearance rate is somewhere around 50%, and we're well into the high 70s. So we bring justice. We bring these individuals to justice, and we bring accountability. And so the message is, when this happens in our city, we act decisively, and we bring justice.
What can you say for, especially for women who are trying to prevent being in similar situations? What should they be looking out for?
I'm sorry, please say it again, ma'am.
What should women be looking out for especially some of the victims involved with this? What would you say for the public to look out for to make sure that they're not the next one?
Well, I think it's important for the public to know that what we're seeing in terms of our homicides and all of our non-fatal shootings in our city are individuals who know each other or individuals who are being specifically targeted. So when you look at the percentage of the violent acts that we're seeing, it's mostly interpersonal. And so my message as it pertains to homicides and other acts of violence in the city is that we have to do a better job as a community of helping ourselves deal with interpersonal conflicts, because that's the overwhelming majority of the violence that we're seeing in the community. I just looked at our homicides today, year to date, from last year, and as well as what we've seen so far this year. And that is what we're seeing overwhelmingly. These are either family disputes, or these are individuals who know each other, or these are disputes that happen in places like bars and restaurants where a person gets into a dispute with someone else, and it just evolves into an act of violence. So the clear message is we have to do a better job of helping ourselves deal with interpersonal conflicts in a productive way.
Can you clarify again personal status?
I'm sorry, say it again, sir.
Can you clarify again personal status?
The status of
Oh,
the victim.
right now, last I heard, the victim was in critical condition.
I know everything is still preliminary, but do you know if the two people knew each other?
We don't know. We don't know. It appears in this case that this person was specifically targeted. We don't know why. And as this unravels, I'm sure we'll kind of figure that piece out.
Can you say whether the victim was a man or a woman?
A man. Yeah. Okay.
Not
Thank
sure if it was asked, but is there any connections with this incident today with the one that happened on New Year's Day? Isn't there one first day of
Yeah.
first day of
New Year's Day was these are not connected. The one on New Year's Day was again, this kind of illustrates what I've talked about in terms of the interpersonal nature of some of the disputes that we're seeing. You know, there's a party, there's a dispute between two people, and one pulled out a gun and shot the other. That's what I mean. It's so disheartening to see so many of these conflicts that really can be handled in a more productive way, and they're just devolving and spiraling out of control among people who either know each other intimately or they having some sort of dispute that really should have been talked out. We're doing a lot of things in the city and in the police department to help our people in this community deal with some of these things. One of the things that I've talked about before is hiring social workers in our police stations. You know, a lot of these conflicts originate in the home, or they originate in a place where people just don't know how to navigate some of these interpersonal issues that they're having. And so we're putting social workers in our police stations so that when they come looking for that sort of help, they have someone that can help them navigate some of these things. So maybe some of those disputes don't end up spiraling into unnecessary violence. So we got to look at those sorts of things. We're doing what needs to be done in terms of taking weapons off the street. You know, 80% of homicides are here or nationwide. 80% of homicides involve guns. So if someone gets killed, it's most likely going to be through a firearm. And so one of the things that we've been very successful at is taking illegally possessed firearms off the streets. You know, we're 26% across the board in terms of firearms being taken off the street, and that's a start. If we can get more of these illegally possessed firearms off the street, then that would take away opportunities for people to commit these homicides. So a lot of work has been done behind the scenes.
Thank you.
What's the identity of
Not yet, but family hasn't been notified yet. Yeah.
the
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.